Futures are indicating a very strong opening for the market this morning following the volatility that we saw last week. Joining me right now in an exclusive interview is the CEO of Oracle, Mark Hurd, along with Caesars Entertainment CEO Mark Frissora this morning. Good to see you, gentlemen.
Good to see you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, we're happy to have you here because we're getting an inside look at business this morning as these markets trade wildly, as we wonder what the heck is going on. Mark, let me kick it off with you.
We're both Marks. So,
two Marks.
Yeah.
We'll start with you, Mark Hurd. Your state of business in terms of growth, in terms of the backdrop to this market, you say we are where?
I think it's a good question. I think it's when you talk about markets, you can talk about them geographically, you can talk about them by industry. I think U.S. is doing well. I think U.S. has been doing well for a while. We see it in small and medium business. We see it in large cap. People are talking about investing, modernizing applications. Mark can talk a little bit about that. Perhaps a little bit different depending on what geography you go to.
Well, I mean, for the first time in a long time, aren't we seeing synchronized global growth across the world? I mean, you got growth in Europe, in Japan even. Is that what you, I mean, you're obviously one of the most international companies out there.
There's growth. There's some good growth in Asia. Again, the biggest sectors in Europe, for example, is financial services. Probably not as strong a growth in that industry there. Those banks are still recovering from a lot of what happened in 2008. But overall, I'd say economy fine.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you are such a fantastic indicator for us because you're seeing bookings going forward. You see what businesses are going to be spending on in terms of their R&D, their IT spending. So this is a really important indicator when you look at Oracle because of your business and your customers. You're one of the customers, by the way, Mark. So let me get your take on the trickle-down impact of President Trump's tax plan and what you're seeing right now out there.
Yeah. Right now, the economy's been percolating along just like it was, for the last 6 months. We haven't seen a whole lot of change. Our demand in the U.S. has been pretty constant. As you know, with Vegas, we had this tragedy that occurred in October, and after that, we saw some slight softening of the business, but that's recovered mostly. So, but in general, we're seeing good demand and a good economy, which supports our business model.
I mean, you see companies giving more bonuses, money to workers, and you would think that passing on that tax savings would be good for the customer, who's just going to plow that right back into the economy.
Yeah, well, I think that's partially true for sure. I think for us, when we look at the tax plan, it gives obviously a much better incentive to invest, if you will, in capital in the business. So it takes our internal rates of return much higher as a result of the tax cuts.
I want to ask you about the cloud, Mark. I don't know if you saw the op-ed this morning on the cloud in the Journal, which I thought was really interesting as companies fight for where their most precious data is going to sit. It's sort of out there, not in their file cabinet anymore, in their office. But let's talk about the breaking news. Oracle is expanding your cloud infrastructure, rolling out 12 new data centers and center regions. Caesars Entertainment has also moved its financial system to the Oracle cloud. Tell me what you're doing, Mark Hurd.
Well, Maria, as you know, we're growing. We're expanding our footprint globally to get to more geographies, to get to more countries. We're actually going to add a couple of other data centers in the U.S. We're going to do it, though, by the way, as our margins continue to expand. Our margins in the cloud have actually been going up. They will continue to go up. But it's all about growth. We're getting more customers. We're getting more transactions. We're growing more data centers as a result.
Yeah. So why did you make the choice to use Oracle, Mark?
Well, our whole strategy is to move to the cloud. And so Mark and his company have done a great job enabling that with our new ERP system. And we're putting our human capital system combined with that. So it's a big platform for us. And it combines a lot of efficiency, gives us a lot of speed, and it allows us a lot more security for the network. And so everything is real time. And we used to have 2,000 spreadsheets that we close every month with. They're all gone.
Yeah.
Journal entries are down 95%. Yeah. Our external auditor fees are down 20%.
Well, I think this is a really important point. I want the Wall Street Journal, Matt, if you can grab it for me. There's an op-ed in the Journal this morning about the cloud business and why some companies are having a hard time. They used to have all their, thank you very much, Matt. They used to have all of their information right there in their file cabinets, and now they're all trying to figure out how to store it. They're putting it in the cloud, Mark. You saw the op-ed that I'm referring to. It's Too Hard to Search the Cloud by Michael Chertoff in the Journal today. So I want to get your take on why the cloud is the best answer. I mean, I recognize we're in a data world where it's this limitless and you can't fit it in the file cabinet anymore. But now companies regularly fight costly legal battles with the U.S. government. Both sides want to know, can a U.S. warrant compel the disclosure of data stored abroad and subject to foreign law when it's in the cloud? That was the op-ed.
Well, that's on one aspect of the cloud, where data sovereignty, and I think that'll continue to be an issue. But overall, it costs less to have your data in the cloud. It's more secure to have your data in the cloud. You get more innovation when your data is in the cloud. These are sort of basic fundamental things that aren't just about technology. They're really more about the business model and the strategy the companies have, like Mark described.
Which is why you're seeing such a big increase in terms of companies wanting to transition. What are you seeing in terms of some of these smaller guys out there trying to take market share from your business? And some companies over the years have said, you know what, let me go with a smaller company rather than opening myself up to a large corporation like an Oracle. You still have those smaller, like the Workdays of the world, nipping at your heels.
I'll just stick with numbers, Maria. So applications market in the world probably growing 2-3%. We're growing double digits. 15%, I think, last quarter in USD. Our technology business is gaining share. We have roughly 50% of the database market, and we're gaining a little bit of share in that market as well. So obviously, when you're a leader, lots of people would like to take your business, but our business is growing and we're taking share.
Does it do anything specific for the gaming industry, Mark Frissora? I mean, in terms of sectors using the cloud and why you have been so loyal to Oracle, what specifically, from a practical basis, are you getting?
Well, for us, the whole industry, frankly, is all legacy systems, very slow systems, not real-time data. So we're trying to move everything on a technology front to the year 2000 or above. And frankly,
that's a big effort.
It's a big deal, and so we want to be first to do that. And so again, it's been very helpful to have Oracle's experience and their development programs, except to help us. Now, you should note that in this casino industry, if you go to the floor, you can't get real-time customer data. You can't get your total reward program downloaded immediately, but that's what we're moving to, and we should be there by 2020, 100% of everything we have in the cloud.